Hello and welcome to my homestead. As you can see, my garden has become one big mess. This summer I have been really sick, so I have not really had any energy or strength to take care of it. And most of it pretty much became garbage. But there are still some things that are growing and ripening. So let me show you a few. I do have some edamame growing. These are ripening despite the bunnies eating them. I have one lone bell pepper in here. Most of these bell peppers are up front. I'll show you in a moment. We'll go there later on. I do have some beans here. Most of these have already been picked, and I left a few to go into seed, but they've been producing really well. Beans have been really prolific this year. Look at these. So hopefully I'll have nice seed from these. We're in October now. But the biggest performance has been from beans and peppers. I mean, look at this. These are varieties that my sister grew seedlings from store-bought peppers. And they're actually so overloaded that they cannot sustain the weight. Just too heavy. It's a good thing I had them in a cage. When Hurricane Ian or remnant of Hurricane Ian came through, I thought all of this was going to be leveled, but they stayed upright. But you can see the amounts of them everywhere. Now this is the second flush of peppers. I already picked the first, but they have been very prolific. Lovely, lovely. I've been very happy with them. Now, some of the tomatoes are still producing, even though the blight destroyed most of them. I still have some nice green tomatoes. So I'm going to have some late tomatoes. The ones that will not ripen in time, I will take off green and then ripen them in brown bags. The purple beans are pretty much done. I'll let them go into seed. You can see that they're drying out, but I will have seed for next year. But the biggest performers have been these yellow ones. There's still a lot of green beans in here. Some are still very young, and some I'm letting go into seed, just like this purple. These are beautiful beans. So they have produced, it's about 20 pounds of beans this year. By volume, it's a lot. These beans are not heavy. But you can see they're growing in clusters. We had some frost not frost, but very cold weather, and they're turning. You can see they will still be still producing. There is a lot inside. So I've been very happy, and again, all of the All the beans that are still on the vine, I'm gonna let go into the actual dry beans and have seeds for next year. All right, let's go up front and see what we can find there. I can't say that I particularly enjoy having all these wild daisy weeds. There are millions of flowers on them, but look at all of the bees on them. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. The bees love these flowers. This late in the season, it's October, and for them this is a real boost. And they have a lot of these. You can see all over my yard. It's weeds for me, but it's food for bees. In the raised bed, the beans are almost done. There are a few still growing. I just picked up a bunch today, and I'll show you total just in a little bit. The cucumbers are almost done. They're dying off now, so they didn't like when we dropped the cold. Plus, there is some kind of fungus on them, so I'm gonna pull them out in a little bit, maybe another 2 days. Right now, I still have a couple of cucumbers that are formed, so I'm gonna let them finish growing, and afterwards, I'm gonna get rid of them. And then transplant a few more lettuces here so they will grow and have some sweet potatoes here. I have one tomato plant here that I transplanted. It was a broken from this one. These are doing really nicely. It did not have the blight like the other tomatoes, so it's doing really well. But this is a different variety, so these are orange tomatoes. Different taste. And I have some of the basil still growing in here. And I have Chinese lettuces. As you can see, I've been trimming the leaves from the bottom, and they're doing quite well. Here are some of the beans that I picked earlier today. As you can see, there's a lot of them. This is a lot of beans. Well, the storm has hit and leveled a lot of stuff. I'll show you in a second. You can see most of my peppers are laying down. Even though they had support, it didn't save them. They had cages around them. But they're still loaded. They're producing heavily this year. Lots of peppers. And I already picked it 3 times. So this is definitely a year of peppers and beans. But lots of young peppers still there. In a few days we're going to drop down to 43, so hopefully that will spur all of these peppers to turn color. We're mid-October almost. Either way, I'm happy with them. The high grass actually helps them to stay stable, so it protected them. Now my sunchokes have got hit really hard. As you can see, most of them are laying down. They could not fight. So that's okay. I'll pick them soon. But the tree survived, well, for most of them. And here is what makes me happy. The remaining 2 chocolate persimmons. The rest already have been eaten. So, it's not too bad. The storm did hit, but it's not at all a loss.